If you've been watching this channel already, you know that on Tuesdays I usually release videos featuring teams that have done very well at major tournaments and sometimes other official events like global challenges. But yeah, the basic idea on this channel is that Tuesdays are for serious tournament-proven teams. And obviously those Tuesday videos have been paused lately. I fully was intending to keep them paused until after the European International Championship this weekend, which should give me a lot of interesting teams to look at. But then today I was working on something else, and I came across something that I thought was just too good for me to ignore. And that is a team that got top 8 at the Merida, I think it's called, Regional Championship in Mexico. And there's a very good reason that this team got my attention because, as you can see right here, it features Chestnut. So this team was used by former world champion Paul Ruiz, and what I came across that I'd seen this team in the team listings before, but what made me want to make a video on it is that I was looking to see whether Paul had released the EV spreads, and just to get ahead of this, I don't think he has, so I have just made some simple EV spreads of my own for this video. But I did find him talking about the team a little bit, even though I no longer have a Twitter account, and by the way, highly recommend getting rid of that if you haven't yet. I still was able to read his tweet about the event, and there he said that basically Chestnut is an old favorite grass-type starter Pokemon of his going back to Generation 6, and he decided to take it to this tournament, explicitly in part to show newer players that in fact you can win with your favorites as long as they bring something to the table that is valuable for your team. So some of that might sound a little bit familiar if you've been watching this channel. How did this showdown background image get here anyway? But yeah, taking an old favorite grass-type starter Pokemon to a regional and trying to put in work with it is, it's safe to say, a goal that we respect and admire around here. And while I had a result that I'm happy with in Toronto because I got close to day 2, but not quite there, and it was my first time earning points from a major tournament. Paul Ruiz is a better player than I am, and Chestnut brings a little bit more to the table than Superior does, if we're being honest, maybe a lot more. And so Paul did get top 8 with this Chestnut, and now that I know the reasoning behind it, yeah, we absolutely love to see it around here, and I definitely wanted to try this team out. So, while Superior has sort of a couple of tricks, right, and contrary stuff and glare, and as I refined that team back in Regulation H, I would say it kind of evolved away from relying on Superior. Superior was still important to a couple of matchups, like I did beat an Archaludon with it in one of the rounds at the regional, but for the most part, that kind of morphed into a good team with Superior on it. This team is definitely more obviously built around Chestnut, and again, Chestnut has some tools that make it at least do a solid impression of a legitimately good Pokemon. Chestnut actually has an amazing support move pool, but is held back somewhat by its typing and its stats. But you can see here Chestnut carrying the bulletproof ability, so it'll be immune to ball moves. I don't know how much that's going to come into play, but it is a nice trick to have available. But this set is built around Iron Defense and Body Press, so Chestnut can very quickly set up defense boosts. Iron Defense, of course, gives it +2, so in just a couple of turns, it's very hard to break with physical attacks. And then it also is carrying Wide Guard, which can shut down an opponent's Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Astral Barrage, Glacial Lance if you don't want to Terra Water or you're not set up very well with your Chestnut yet, or you're trying to protect another Pokemon. Wide Guard, very good in restricted formats, just a solid move to have here. And then Feint, if you're not familiar with it, it's a priority attack that breaks an opponent's Protect. And it's not super widely distributed, but it is very useful if you're trying to hit hard with offensive Pokemon like Urshifu and Calyrex and Ogerpon. So these are just, these are just a few of the tools that Chestnut has at its disposal. It also gets like Quick Guard, it also gets Leech Seed stuff, but yeah, this Iron Defense Body Press set is very easy to set up in certain board positions and very hard to break. And it's enabled really nicely by this Whimsicott, which can situationally support Chestnut in a lot of ways. Light Screen helps to make up for the fact that Chestnut isn't boosting its special defense, only its physical defense. But a Terra Water Chestnut with a lot of strong neutral defensive matchups because it's very hard to break if it gets an Iron Defense and you have Light Screen up. Obviously, Tailwind can help Chestnut set up by just making it move more quickly so it can't be attacked beforehand. But the real trick here is Encore. With Encore, you can lock opponents into Protect, you can lock them into moves that aren't really threatening to Chestnut, and you can make their lives quite a bit harder, create openings for Chestnut to set up. Of course, that's tunnel visioning a lot into Chestnut, but Whimsicott also is a great support for Urshifu and Calyrex because both of those are fast attackers that benefit from the Tailwind to outspeed their opponents and hit hard. Really straightforward stuff, right? And you can also help to set up this nasty plot Calyrex by manipulating opponents' options with the Encore Whimsicott. Then we have Rocky Helmet Incineroar, just a very solid Pokemon all around. I think you're familiar with what Incineroar does if you're watching this. Rapid Strike Urshifu is important because it complements Shadow Rider Calyrex, the restricted Pokemon, really well, able to take on threats like Terrapagos. Of course, Chestnut can help a lot with that as well because it has that super effective Body Press and it has Wide Guard to stop Terastallized Terra Starstorm. But having a second fighting type is generally a pretty solid choice in this format. And finally, the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. It is a third grass type for the team, although I've found that when I run a Chestnut game plan, I'm Terastallizing Chestnut pretty often. But with Follow Me, you can make life a little bit easier still for your setup Pokemon, both the Chestnut and the Calyrex. And otherwise, Ogerpon can just hit things hard with Ivy Cudgel. It can threaten Pokemon like Chi-Yu and Incineroar that might be kind of dangerous. It's another tool into the likes of Terrapagos. So it's a little bit more situational, I think, and when you bring it, but it's a pretty solid complement to the rest of the team. Now, normally when I pick up a team like this, I am playing my first ever games with it during the video. This is actually not the case this time for reasons. I mean, there's no point being evasive about it. I made a Chestnut short. There will be a Chestnut short eventually, and that's why I was looking up this team. But so I played, I think, 4 games with this team. And I set Chestnut up in 3 of them with honestly mixed results. I lost 1 game to max sleep turns. I think I could have won if with even 1 turn fewer of sleep. But and then there was another one where I just didn't properly think through my positioning about a Flutter Mane against a Flutter Mane, because one weakness that this Chestnut set has is that it has no way to hit ghost types. So I got down to a Chestnut Flutter Mane endgame, and that was just an auto loss. But Chestnut does feel very strong if you get its positioning right. So we're going to try to demonstrate that right now. And again, Chestnut wants to play kind of a slower, more setup-focused game that can lose to variance, and Paul Ruiz talked in his tweet about getting haxed at some points, but a game plan like that can invite that kind of outcome. But you also have very fast and powerful offense with the Shadow Rider Calyrex being your restricted Pokemon. So this looks like a pretty solid opposing team. They have their own Shadow Rider, which makes me a little bit hesitant to try to get Chestnut going in this game. I believe it will be immune to Sludge Bomb, though, with the Bulletproof. And I do have Wide Guard. I think I'm going to try leading Chestnut and Whimsicott. I've liked that lead duo in the few games I've played so far. I'll bring Calyrex. And I don't hate Incineroar here. Okay. And yeah, maybe leading Chestnut right off the bat isn't the best thing in this matchup. I guess we'll see. But I do like to be able to, kind of feel these things out and learn. Although this isn't my first game with this team, I don't have very many under my belt still. I think I'm just gonna... So the thing is, Chestnut has no offensive threat into Calyrex, and Calyrex can just nasty plot. And I can't even Encore because they have the Psychic Terrain up. I think I'm going to try to chip this Indeedee at least and get a Light Screen up. And then I'll think about switching Incineroar in. But yeah, I am at a bit of a disadvantage right off the bat leading into this duo, and I might have wanted to think about that more than I did. Chestnut, another small issue I've had with this Chestnut set is that it doesn't have it doesn't have Protect. It does have Wide Guard. I guess with all these other useful moves, you just don't have room for Protect, but it does make Chestnut a little bit vulnerable, as I'm just going to click Wide Guard here and try to get Incineroar in. And yeah, I was just looking to chip the Indeedee because it's going to sit there and click Follow Me. If the Shadow Rider has coverage, then Chestnut is just going down sooner or later. But Yeah. I'm just going to click knock off. It'll be nice if they let me hit the horse. I don't think they will, but yeah. But that's why knocking a DD out that much more quickly is valuable. It's actually Terra Dark Horse, and we do see a Psyshock. And yeah, if I had Terra Fairy Calyrex, I can go for Draining Kiss. They're very set up though. I can Encore, knock off. Not sure I see the vision beyond that. This was just a really... I think this is a tough matchup for this team, but also I definitely just led wrong into it. Encore or Draining Kiss? Encore. Draining Kiss is not even all that strong. Oh, and here's this. I mean, I could probably just forfeit this game, to be honest, but... let's try not doing that. Okay, follow me. Oh, and there's still the Psychic Terrain up. Okay, we're just gonna call that one a write-off. I'm just forfeiting there. Here we've got a Miraidon Chi-Yu team, so this is not the kind of thing probably where I want to try to be setting Chestnut up. I mean, Chestnut is good into these guys, but not these guys. There's a case for Chestnut in some parts. I don't necessarily know how I beat this team either. Whimsicott I think for sure, so I can match Tailwind and stuff if I need to. I guess I might as well leave Calyrex. It could have difficulty with a Chi-Yu or a Farigiraf, but it is at least somewhat threatening to Miraidon right off the bat. I'll bring Ogerpon. It hits a lot of stuff hard, and it also has that Follow Me. And do I want Chestnut to help with the fighting types? I don't know that the fighting types are what I'm most worried about. Let's bring in Incineroar. We'll leave Chestnut behind for this one. Okay, Whimsicott, Miraidon. I probably want to match Tailwind here. I do also have the option to set a Light Screen if I want. I think I'm going to Tailwind and Protect. And then maybe I can get the Light Screen next turn, unless they Encore Lock my Whimsicott. It's a Fairy Miraidon. Are they going right for Dazzling Gleam? They are. Okay. That knocks out Whimsicott, so I don't get a Light Screen, unfortunately. I can fake out the Miraidon, though. Oh, you know what I just realized? They can lock Calyrex into... that's bad. I'm just going to hope they don't. They do. I swear I was playing better when I wasn't recording. How it goes sometimes, I guess. I'm just trying to get Calyrex off the board, and weakening the Miraidon is useful as well. I can't risk a Nasty Plot because they can just Encore again, so I guess we just Astral Barrage here. Try to preserve Ogerpon so I can do some damage with it when Miraidon potentially goes down. I mean, Miraidon's not taking another Astral Barrage after this. 3 grass types and no grassy terrain, so yeah, this team definitely has some tricky matchups. They can just Tailwind again. Because it was Sash Whimsicott, which you don't see so often anymore. I kind of just assumed it would be, you know, the other item. I thought Miraidon might attack and Tailwind here. That's why I switched Ogerpon out, again, to try to preserve it. But getting Incineroar in here isn't the worst thing. The Whimsicott just protected. I can threaten it with Fake Out now. And I think I'm willing to risk a Nasty Plot, because I'm just not doing enough damage without it. Or I could Terra Fairy, Draining Kiss. Because I am doing enough damage into Miraidon. That's very low. If I weaken Iron Hands... try to keep Calyrex healthy. I'm going to try that. And yeah, we'll just Fake Out into the Whimsicott. As it does just go down. So their Tailwind is now gone for the rest of the game, which is good because mine is too. And yeah, that Astral Barrage is actually looking very threatening now. Rocky Helmet and Incineroar nicely chipping the Iron Hands. They have their Urshifu. But I can just Astral Barrage and follow me, right? And then Calyrex probably wins. We know that Urshifu doesn't have a Focus Sash. But that probably means... That might mean it has a Choice Scarf, so I think it probably goes before Ogerpon. So... I think I probably get the most utility out here out of Follow Me and Astral Barrage. Calyrex is faster. I could have gotten my Nasty Plot there, maybe. But that's still okay, actually, because Calyrex will be faster than Miraidon. And Urshifu can Aqua Jet if it wants, but I don't think that's going to KO at this range. They don't even try it. Also, they might be... They still could have like a Choice Band or something, but... Yeah, okay, that did not feel like a Chestnut game, and I didn't bring it. And the beginning of that game felt very rough, but Shadow Rider Calyrex proving what a menace it is, pulling that one back. Okay, we got a Palmet here. It's another Shadow Rider and DD game, and I don't think I can lead Chestnut into these. But it was the first game, and I wanted to give it a try. I don't actually hate leading Ogerpon. Because of Sturdy, the Calyrex can't just one-shot it, and that might help me take out Indeedee. I could even lead like Ogerpon, Incineroar. This team looks like it very much wants to play through the Shadow Rider, so I think loading up on answers to that is not the worst idea. My Calyrex also could be an answer, but probably only if I Terrastallize it, because we probably Speed Tie. I do have the Focus Sash, though. So yeah, I think two of those, Incineroar, Ogerpon, and Calyrex in the lead. Two of them. I don't hate preserving Incineroar for a bit later. No, you know what? Do I need to threat... How much... I'm going to try Ogerpon Calyrex. I'm not sure it's right, but... You know, we're trying things here. And I think I'm going to bring Whimsicott, because I can Moonblast the Palmet, I can match Tailwinds with Tornadus, and I can Light Screen. I think Whimsicott's worthwhile here. So, leaving Chestnut on the bench again, but that's another lesson when you're using your favorites that aren't necessarily metagame standard. Not every matchup is their matchup, you know? I would like to just do what I can to this Palmet immediately, you know, try to get rid of it so it can't revive a Calyrex later, but it could Fake Out, so I'm going to Spiky Shield. I do think I want to click Astral Barrage. I won't be shocked if the Tornadus taunts Calyrex, and I don't want to mess around with that. I do have the Spell Tag to boost Astral Barrage a little bit, and again, I want damage into Palmet as quickly as possible. So we're not going to try to set up here. Palmet protects, okay. A Tailwind. Alright, so I got that one exactly wrong. I could have set up Nasty Plot, and also could have taken the KO into Tornadus or something. Well, what can you do? I'm going to Ivy Cudgel Palmet here, in case it has a Focus Sash, and I'm just going to click Astral Barrage again. It's Sludge Bomb Tornadus, that's a new one to me. They have Nuzzle on the Palmet, okay. That's really bad. Calyrex is now pretty badly nerfed for the rest of the game. It also is fully paralyzed this turn, which is... Yeah, don't love that. I'm just going to Spiky Shield. I don't think Ogerpon has anything important to do this turn. I could click Follow Me. Actually, maybe that is worth it to redirect a possible Double Shock away from Calyrex, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'll Astral Barrage again. I can take 2 KOs here if they let me, or I can chip something in the back, or they might protect, but yeah, we'll see. I do hope I get a chance to get the Chestnut going soon. Don't think I want to end the video without trying it. They do land Bleakwind Storm into Calyrex, and they just close combat Ogerpon, so I guess Spiky Shield would have been better there, but I don't know, my opponent has a weird team, and they're playing it a little weirdly. I'm getting every call wrong, but... Actually, I am in trouble here, because I don't have much offense in the back. Yeah, this Chi-Yu is going to be a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, I'm getting every call wrong, but I'm not being punished too hard for it so far. But I think I am just going to run out of juice. Clear Amulet Calyrex? I guess they really don't want to take Icy Wind. Let's see if they Terrastallize. I think they will. But if they don't, no, they don't have the Focus Sash on Calyrex, and this is a big knockoff. And hey, I'm getting all my reads wrong this game. If I think they're going to Terrastallize, maybe they won't. They Terrastallize Chi-Yu. Okay, that's big. Snarl. Okay. Incineroar doesn't care. Incineroar should take this Astral Barrage just fine too. Knock out the Calyrex. And now, I'll just go ahead and Parting Shot Chi-Yu and Terra Fairy Draining Kiss. It's a pure Dark type now, so it's going to be weak to this. Snarl is not doing too terribly much to Calyrex. Calyrex is still at +1 special attack, and actually Draining Kiss just knocks Chi-Yu out. Nice, okay, yeah. That opponent, they were creative and unpredictable for sure. If they fine-tune those game plans, they could be a menace on the best of one ladder, but yeah, just was not punished enough for getting things wrong in that game. This is a really weird looking Ice Rider team. Actually, for a second I thought they didn't have a restricted, but they do. It looks like Shadow Rider kind of feasts on this, except maybe the Indeedee could be an issue. Chestnut's kind of interesting because it can... They could have Haze Toxapex. I think Toxapex gets Haze, but Terra Water Chestnut can make life a fair bit harder for Horse, Shark, and Penguin, maybe. And even Crocodile is not a great answer to it because it'll resist Torch Song and be immune to Shadow Ball with the Bulletproof. So is this the game where... But here's the thing. Into a matchup like this, I kind of think I want to just start hitting hard with offense early. Actually, I can do both. I can lead Chestnut and Calyrex here, I think. And then this is probably an Urshifu game, just to make sure I have enough offense. And I can even bring Ogerpon. I think I can leave Whimsicott behind for this one. Encore could be useful to help get my Pokemon set up, but in Psychic terrain it's not useful. So yeah, we can leave Whimsicott behind this time. And I think I'm down to just Terrasilize Chestnut immediately and go for Iron Defense. And I think I'm down to just click Astral Barrage. Okay, they protect their Calyrex and they set up Trick Room, I assume. So I might want to switch my Calyrex out after maybe killing a turn with Protect. Yeah. But I think I'm down here to just Iron Defense again and Protect. It probably won't do much damage to anything, and that's a turn of Trick Room gone, and then I can think about repositioning my Calyrex slot. But you can see I already have Chestnut on the field with a solid defensive type into everything they've brought, and at +2, now +4 defense. It's already going to be hard for them to remove. It could be Rocky Helmet and Indeedee. I probably want to prioritize body pressing the Calyrex if they'll let me. I don't see much reason in this position not to go for +6 defense, so I think I will. Why do I keep saying that I have a Focus Sash on the Calyrex? I know it's a spell tag. Sash is on Urshifu. I definitely said that incorrectly at some points in the last couple games. But if you've already written a comment about it, don't worry, I noticed. I think I can bring Urshifu in here. And I'm just trying to stall out the Trick Room. They switched to Empoleon. They have Grass Knot on Empoleon? That'd be a neat tech. I'm just going to try to body press Empoleon. The fact that they switched it in like this makes me think it's conceivably a threat. And I'll detect Urshifu here. I'm still just trying to wear out their Trick Room turns. Seed Bomb on the Calyrex. Okay, that's good to know. Empoleon just drops to a +6 body press. Who's coming in now? I do have to be a little bit alert to the Skeledirge because, again, Chestnut can't do anything to Ghost types, but Toxapex isn't great for Chestnut either. And we'll see now whether it has Haze or even Baneful Bunker. Yeah, Toxapex is actually kind of tricky to remove. It's good that I preserved Calyrex. Yeah, Skeledirge would be similarly... I mean, Skeledirge is punished by Urshifu and Ogerpon, though, so that would have been actually probably easier to deal with than Toxapex. But I'll just go for a Body Press into their Calyrex, and... I don't think I need Urshifu at this point. I think it's probably my least valuable player, so let's just see if I can cheese a Double Detect. I actually can. They Toxic Chestnut. Okay, so that is going to wear it down over time, obviously. Chestnut is not going to be able to sit on the field forever, but it's already fully set up and doing so much damage. I don't know if the crit mattered there, but we did just knock out the Calyrex, and now the opponent has very little damage left. I'm just going to Body Press and Surging Strikes into Indeedee. I don't care if it has a Rocky Helmet at this point, because my Calyrex and Ogerpon in the back should have no trouble beating Toxapex. So let's just remove Indeedee here. No Rocky Helmet. Citrus Berry. It's back to 70%, but that's not taking a +6 body press. And yeah, they can poison the rest of my team, but they're not surviving all this damage that's coming out. So I'm just going to body press. We'll see what it does if they don't forfeit. And I'll just hard switch to Calyrex here. I don't see any need to waste my own time waiting for Urshifu to be worn down. That did almost half into a very bulky Pokemon that resists it. And then let's just go for a nasty plot. Even if they poison Calyrex, how well are they taking single target Astral Barrage after this? I don't think that recover is going to save them. And that body press still does almost half. They do poison Calyrex. They can protect if they want, but it's just too little too late. We'll go Astral Barrage here and body press. And I think the Astral Barrage will just KO. Yep. So there we go. That's the kind of game that we're looking for with this Chestnut. I've found, again, there are things that can counter it. Just variants like full paralysis or max sleep turns. Or just an opponent positioning a Ghost type well, because Chestnut will always lose 1v1 to a Ghost type with this set. But I mean, even that could be hard to do when I restricted it as Shadow Rider Calyrex. And yeah, Chestnut can have some very good games just getting on the field early and setting up quickly. And it snowballs so quickly with that Iron Defense, as you saw there. So let's keep going. A Sneasler. That actually could be a problem for Chestnut, huh? What did I say? Variance can be an issue when you play a bulky setup plan like this. So Sneasler is not what I love to see. On the other hand, Chestnut is probably one of my best Zamazenta answers. It is Terra Ghost Incineroar. It doesn't have Will-O-Wisp though. So yeah. I think Chestnut is my Zamazenta check, which makes the Sneasler a little bit of a problem, but I'm going to try leading Chestnut Whimsicott. There's no Psychic Terrain on this team. I think I might be able to do some Encore Cheese. I could lock Sneasler into Fake Out if they try that, or I can lock Zamazenta into like its own Iron Defense or Rillaboom. You know, there are a lot of possibilities. I will bring Shadow Rider for sure, and it's actually not that great a Shadow Rider game. But Zamazenta Chestnut complements Shadow Rider pretty nicely, right? Because if they try to load up on answers like Wide Guard Zamazenta or Dark type Chien-Pao or even Assault Vest Rillaboom, Chestnut beats all of those pretty nicely. So that's sort of a core synergy of this team that I'm not sure I've said explicitly before. Running out of time to figure out my last Pokemon. I think Incineroar is pretty reasonable here. Okay, it's Sneasler and Rillaboom, so either one of them can Fake Out. And of course, Poison Touch would not be great for me here, but I'm just going to go for the Iron Defense if they'll let me. And Whimsicott doesn't have Protect, but it does have the Covert Cloak. So I can just Moonblast the Sneasler, I think. I would like to get rid of the Sneasler quickly if I can. Okay, Whimsicott just drops to a Dire Claw. That's not a good start. Probably shouldn't have let that happen. Maybe I got tunnel visioned a little bit there, but I'll go Incineroar here. I'll get Intimidates into both of these. I'll go again for the Iron Defense, and let's Fake Out the Sneasler slot and see if it stays in. Because I don't want to let Incineroar take a close combat, so I was thinking about Parting Shooting that slot. I could Terrasilize Incineroar and Parting Shot, but I'm not sure I want to do that yet either. And Sneasler does stay in. It's probably trying to knock out Incineroar. Probably don't want to let it. I can still think about Terrasilizing Incineroar, but depending on what they have in the back, I might want to Terrasilize Chestnut. It's Zamazenta. I mean, maybe I want to do that anyway, because Chestnut is weak to Dire Claw right now. Go again for the Iron Defense. This is tricky. I mean, Chestnut beats Rillaboom once it's set up, so I don't think Incineroar is that important to keep around. I'm going to risk the Parting Shot into the Sneasler. I meant to Terrasilize Zamazenta there, and I just forgot to do it. Love when I do that. Okay, but now Chestnut fell asleep from that Dire Claw. The Dire Claw didn't do very much damage, though, so maybe Terrasilizing Rillaboom would have, or Terrasilizing Incineroar would have been fine. Oh well. Now I can think about whether I want to Terrasilize Calyrex. It's so tricky, though, with the Sneasler here. I'm gonna make a slightly risky play and try to get a nasty plot, so that the Draining Kiss will do some respectable damage. If Chestnut wakes up quickly, that would be ideal. They have coaching, okay. Do they have Behemoth Bash? They do. Chestnut wakes up. Okay, that's good. How do we feel about Feint to break a possible... We know they don't have a Focus Sash. It's Grassy Seed. Okay, I don't think I need to Feint here. I think I just Iron Defense again. And yeah, let's see what a Draining Kiss +2 does to the Sneasler. Terra Dragon Zamazenta. If Calyrex gets through this turn... that could have been helpful. Their own Terra could have been helpful to me. Well, I have a Chestnut and a Dream. The good news is they don't have a Ghost type, and they've shown 3 physical attackers so far, so it seems not impossible. And I still have my Terra if I really need it. They're just trying to get the Zamazenta set up with coaching. I'm not sure I can break through that, but I'll certainly try. It has also turned off its fighting weakness, of course. Sneasler finally goes down. I probably let that Pokemon warp my game plan too much. There's the Qian Pao, so I think that is where I click the Terra Water and rely on the fact that I'm just at +6 defense to beat Rillaboom anyway. You know what? I'm not sure about that, actually. I'm going to try just a Body Press with no Terra, and it just drops immediately to an Ice Bear crit. Okay. Well, that was anticlimactic. I think there was a chance that Chestnut could have pulled that one back. They brought their 4 worst Pokemon into it. I think. I mean, the Sneasler was an issue, but it wasn't doing that much damage. They brought... Once the Sneasler went down, they certainly had their 3 worst Pokemon into Chestnut, but... Again, slow, bulky game plan, variance happens, sometimes you get crit. If I Terrestrialized there, probably would have taken it, but oh well. This is a kind of a weird-looking Miraidon team. I did like what I did against Miraidon before, where I just led Calyrex and took advantage of having the faster restricted. I think Ogerpon is reasonable here. I think I'm just going to bring my 2 Pokemon that have Focus Sash and Sturdy. And hope they give me enough offense. Alright, Miraidon Whimsicott against Shadow Rider Whimsicott. I know better than to click Protect or Nasty Plot this time. I just have to start attacking. So we'll Tailwind and Astral Barrage. Ideally, Whimsicott survives this and can set Light Screen next turn. We'll see. They go Light Screen here, so... The good news is my Light Screen will definitely be Okay. Well, I still got Ivy Cudgel. My Light Screen will definitely be faster than their Encore. Or I can just Moonblast Miraidon. But then they can Encore Whimsicott if they want. I think Light Screen's a little bit safer. Let's try to get this Ivy Cudgel. They'll get big damage first. No, they won't. Kidding. They're not running a ton of speed on Miraidon, I guess. Being locked into Ivy Cudgel is not the worst thing here. It's not the best in front of an Ivy Cudgel resist, but let's just try to Moonblast that and knock out Whimsicott. They do have a way to stop this, but hopefully they're not going to. Okay, they Encore Ogerpon, which I think I'm okay with. I was worried that they might Encore Whimsicott. Now they can't do that. I said that I think I'm okay with that, but I'm not that confident, actually, that I can win with my Urshifu in the back. But I'll certainly try to. Did they bring Miraidon back in? Yeah. I'm just going to try to Moonblast that. And Detect. They can damage Urshifu with their Urshifu, but they can't knock it out with Miraidon, at least. If I get rid of Miraidon, there's probably still a chance. These matchups are proving a little bit challenging, for sure. Oh, they're taking some time to think about this. Okay, there's the Detect. They also Detect, and they do just let me Moonblast their Miraidon. And again, they're clearly not running a huge amount of speed on it, so it doesn't get to do anything this turn. Urshifu's Focus Sash is still intact. Their last is Farigiraf. That's not ideal because I can't Encore it, and it's going to take some time to wear it down. But I don't have Tailwind up right now, right? Because mine was offset one turn from theirs, so I'll just Tailwind and Surging Strikes here. And hopefully, if nothing else, Whimsicott can beat Farigiraf in an endgame. I don't know. Maybe if I get a Moonblast drop. Or, you know, Urshifu surviving this turn is the first thing that I'd really love to see. Terra Ghost. Okay, they just turned off their Surging Strikes resistance. Goodbye, Urshifu. Trick Room. Okay. That's not ideal, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Again, I cannot Encore the Farigiraf, so... You know, depending on its moves, it might not be able to do much to Terra Dark Whimsicott. I was probably going to Terastallize Whimsicott there, but they take the decision out of my hands. Also, maybe I should have done that earlier when I was worried about their Whimsicott clicking Encore into me. I probably should have Terastallized Whimsicott earlier in this game. I just wasn't thinking about that option. I was, yeah, I didn't think broadly enough about what to do in some of those positions. But they don't punish that mistake, and the decision on Terastallizing it now is taken out of my hands. And we'll get another one, see if we can get Chestnut going again. Okay. I like Chestnut into a couple of these Pokemon. Chi-Yu and Fluttermane are a bit troublesome. That's putting it mildly. But I could lead like Whimsicott Ogerpon. That gives me outs to those two in the lead. Or Whimsicott Incineroar might be better here, actually. Incineroar does something nice to most of their team. And then I can bring Chestnut in the back. And I can consider Ogerpon, actually. I don't think I need Calyrex here, necessarily. Yeah, let's bring the let's leave the restricted behind. Let's bring the restricted. The opposite of what I meant. I was genuinely about to say, let's bring the restricted behind. Let's leave the restricted behind this time. Okay. The Chi-Yu is really rough, though, when I've brought all of my grass types. I'm going to go straight for a Tailwind. If Whimsicott gets knocked out here, I can get Ogerpon in and threaten the Chi-Yu. And I'm going to try to knock off the Chi-Yu in case it Terra Ghosts here. They just knock out Incineroar with a Body Press. Okay. They're going to knock out Chi-Yu. They are. So I have Tailwind up, and I know what Pokemon I'm trying to win with at this point. Probably should Terastallize Chestnut. Actually, if Ogerpon goes down, then I'm just cooked against the Fluttermane, which is exactly the problem that I ran into in one of my first few games with this team before I started this video. So we'll see if the same thing happens again. But I'll just Terra Water and Iron Defense and Ivy Cudgel the Chi-Yu slot. Terra Ground Chi-Yu. Haven't seen that in a while. But it is going to put in work for them now, for sure. Haven't knocked out Ogerpon yet. I'm going to try to Body Press and Spiky Shield here. I'm trying to preserve Ogerpon because if it goes down and they brought Fluttermane, I just lose. But Chestnut's going to take a lot of damage this turn. At least it doesn't have to take an attack from the Chi-Yu. Thanks to the Tailwind. There's the Fluttermane. The problem here is they can protect around my Ivy Cudgel and just... Oh, I'm just going to hope they don't, because I don't have a better idea. Actually, I should probably Power Whip, right? No. Ivy Cudgel. More reliable. They do actually just let me knock out the Fluttermane. And then Chestnut goes down to a Body Press. So, okay. Iron Defense Zamazenta. A little bit too much for me to handle in the end. I got excited when the Fluttermane dropped there, but yeah. Ogerpon will bring this down to a 1v1, but it's never beating this Zamazenta. The Iron Defense Zamazenta got the better of Chestnut. But that's what happens when you try to win with your favorites, right? Sometimes you run into a stronger Pokemon that plays a similar game plan. That's just how it goes. I'm going to get one more game, and no matter what the matchup is, I'm just going to try to set Chestnut up early, and we'll see how it goes. But after that, I think we can call this. Tinkaton and Eternatus, I think I've heard of these teams, but I don't actually know how they work. So this opponent might get me by surprise here. That said, Chestnut being, I think, immune to Sludge Bomb, resisting Electric, the Tinkaton is potentially a bit of an issue. But it doesn't seem like the worst game to try to just set Chestnut up no matter what. We'll lead Whimsicott with it. I still would like to show what Encore Whimsicott can do next to Chestnut. It is pretty cool, and I haven't really gotten to make the most of it so far in this video. And then I think I just like Ogerpon and Calyrex. I don't know, they're strong. Okay, Eternatus Regieleki against Chestnut Whimsicott. So I can Light Screen immediately. I don't think I am too bothered about Tailwind in this position. And I will go for the Iron Defense, even though these are probably not physical attackers. It also, of course, boosts Chestnut's damage with Body Press. Yeah, so a Light Screen. Cosmic Power Eternatus is potentially hard to beat, but it does depend on how a lot of other things play out in this game. Okay, they just switch Aleki out to King Gambit. Terra Poison and Eternatus immediately. It has Sludge, Wave. They run Steel types with it, so they're immune. That's probably core to this whole Tinkaton Eternatus idea, and I just didn't know because I just don't know this team. Tell me in the comments if I'm right about that. Well, I actually can Wide Guard here. Terra Fairy Nasty Plot? I think so. There might be a way to pull this one back. Wide Guard stops the Sludge Wave. Gambit clicks Iron Head into Shadow Rider Calyrex. Alright, we're going to end the video here. It's unfortunate because the Chestnut was getting set up more consistently before I started this recording session, but keep an eye out for that Chestnut short, I guess. It definitely is a strong team. There definitely are matchups that you might see higher on the ladder or in a major tournament where Chestnut, I should actually forfeit. I'm being kind of rude by just sitting here. Where Chestnut can really shine. So this hasn't been the best showcase of Chestnut, but it's definitely worth trying out. And the team is still strong overall, right? We saw the Shadow Rider Calyrex and the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon power through a lot of teams in this video. But yeah, huge props to Paul Ruiz, who I suppose does have the World Champ difference in his corner for showcasing an old favorite starter Pokemon, one that he bred shiny in his game, again, much like I did with Snivy, but much more recently. I did that one in Violet, not in Black. And yeah, taking it to a major tournament and getting a very good result, top 8 with Chestnut. So if you're motivated to try out your favorite starter Pokemon or some other favorite of yours, great. By all means, give it a go. It's harder to pull that kind of thing off in Regulation G than it was in Regulation H, but we've seen that it certainly can be done. So please do take inspiration from this if you want to. But yeah, that was Chestnut. Okay, I couldn't help myself, and after stopping the recording, I got one last game with this team. Against this Kyogre Rain here, I led Whimsicott Chestnut against Kyogre and Tornadus. I just clicked the Terra Water on Chestnut immediately and set Tailwind, as they switch Kyogre out to Incineroar and set their own Tailwind. So Incineroar is potentially a little dangerous, right? It could have Will-O-Wisp. I probably want to remove that Pokemon quickly if I can. I Encored the Tornadus, so it's stuck clicking Tailwind, and Incineroar actually just knocked off Chestnut. No leftovers, but Incineroar doesn't take this Body Press back. Down it goes. They bring Kyogre back in here, and they switch Tornadus out to Basculin so that Tornadus can switch moves. Kyogre goes Terra Water, but of course Chestnut is a water type already. Whimsicott sets Light Screen. I mean, Chestnut resists water either way, but yeah, Whimsicott sets Light Screen. The Water Spout still does a lot of damage, right? But so does this Body Press back, does 60% to Kyogre. Here I click Encore into Kyogre, so it's stuck clicking the weakened Water Spout. Basculegion flip turns into Chestnut, chips it a little bit, brings Tornadus back in. But now in this position, okay, the Water Spout knocks out Whimsicott. Chestnut's very low, right? But I do get Chestnut to +4 defense, in case that's useful against Basculegion later. But now I get Ogerpon in, and in this position, the only attacks they have on the board are probably spread moves, because Tornadus probably only has Bleak Wind Storm, and Kyogre is stuck using Water Spout. So I just click Wide Guard, and low HP Chestnut keeps itself and its teammate alive. Ogerpon just one-shots this Tornadus with an Ivy Cudgel. Yeah, no damage from the Water Spout. As the rain ends, they bring Basculegion back in. Ogerpon knocks Basculegion out with a Power Whip. No rain means no Swift Swim. And outside of rain, the 40% Water Pulse does only 10% to Chestnut. I ran a lot of special bulk on this Chestnut. I don't know whether Paul Ruiz did as well, but yeah, Chestnut takes this Water Spout and KOs back with the Body Press. Again, this was the very next game after I stopped recording, and that was more like it, huh?